So to begin, find a comfortable spot on your mat, feeling your sits bones connect to the earth. Feel your spine stack, one vertebra on top of the other. At the same time, feel the shoulders slide down your back. And find your head and neck, an extension of your spine. Good, and then gently let the eyes close, let the hands settle wherever they're most comfortable. And just begin to connect with your breathing. So observing the inhale and the exhale, letting all thoughts of the rest of the day fall away. And as you begin to watch the breath, notice where it lands in the body, making your best effort to get the air to come deep into the belly. So you feel the belly expand, the rib cage expand, and then the chest puff. On the exhale, try to empty the body completely, pulling belly button to spine at the end of the exhale. So creating a bigger, fuller, deeper breath each and every time you have another round of breathing. And as you just slow the breathing down, as you stay connected to what's happening in the moment, just setting the tone for today's practice, reminding yourself that yoga is about non-judgment, non-attachment. So just allow your body to be on the mat today, accept what it has to offer. We say that yoga is a practice, which means we come back over and over to try again. An opportunity to do things different, maybe better, maybe not as better, but an opportunity none the same to redo. And as you go through your practice today, when something feels stuck, not right, or you start to get nervous or worried about a pose, just bring your breath to that spot and let go of all other worries. Just one or two more big, deep breaths. And on the exhale, just seeing if there's anything else that you can let go of, any thought, any notion, any worry, anything you can let go of that's going to make you lighter in your practice. And then just gently bring your hands to touch at heart center and just bowing your chin just slightly, setting your own personal intention for today's practice. And reminding yourself that all you need to do is follow the breath. And then as the head lifts and the hands release, the eyes can open. We'll move into child's pose as our first pose today. So a few options as you move in. You can either let your belly rest right on the thighs, or you can keep your big toes together and move your knees towards the edge of the mat. Nice. And so we'll be offering modifications on the green mats. So feel free to find a pose that's going to work for you and your body today. And right now I want you to feel the connection that your head has to the mat, to the earth. It's offering the ability for you to dump anything out. Yoga is a practice of the heart rather than the brain. So any thoughts that you don't need, just let them fall out. See if you can do your practice today with a little more heart and a little less judgment and worry about what you look like. And just feel yourself settling in, feeling length in the spine. So you feel your tailbone working towards the back of the room, and you feel the spine reaching towards the front wall. Fingers are now engaged into the mat, so I want you to press down nice and big starfish fingers. Nice. So you're feeling the arms fire on, right? So a little activity, they may even lift up off the mat, so just palms are engaged. Nice. Feeling that activity, just feeling the upper back. See if on an inhale, you can really think about stretching the arms. On the exhale, press the palms into the mat and press away from your body, so creating even more length in the upper body. Good. Again, inhale. And then exhale, press down. See if you can eke out just another little speck of a stretch. Really nice. Next inhale, slide the hands right underneath the shoulders, coming up onto all fours. So first connect to make sure you have wrist under shoulder and knee under hip. Super easy to hang out in the low back, so actively pull belly button to spine to keep the back nice and flat. Beautiful. And then just slide the shoulders just gently away from your ears and see if you can lengthen the head and neck. Nice. So really make sure that you're keeping the head and neck as an extension of your spine so you don't put any extra stress in that area as we're going through the poses. And so just a little spine wake up. I want you to inhale and really engage in lifting the tailbone and the shoulders slide back, face is going to lift, and belly drops a little. And then exhale, arch and round, so rounding up into a nice cat stretch. So we're just going to toggle between cat and cow. So the inhale, everything starts to lift. And then on the exhale, everything arches and rounds. So I want you to just follow your own breath right now. Move with the inhale and the exhale. And it's you warming up your spine. It's you yoking or putting together the breath and movement, which is what yoga is about. So keep working on that. Yeah, beautiful. And just soften the elbows just a little bit. Nice. So you want to make sure that if you tend to be a hyperextender through the elbow, if you tend to lock out, that there's a little rotation and a softness in that elbow. Beautiful. So one more round, and at the end of that, you're going to land in neutral, where we began, right? In that tabletop position of belly button pull to spine, back flat. And again, we're going to start to generate a little more heat in the body now. So I want you to reach the legs back and come into a plank as you take a nice deep breath. So first plank, and just feel what that's like in your body. Remembering that plank can also be with knees and top of the feet on the mat. Perfect. Knees and top of the feet resting down right on the mat. Relax. Beautiful. So find your version of plank, whatever it is. Nice. Really strong and engaged. So we established that beautiful base at the beginning of belly button pulling to spine, and that's what you're honoring right here, the integrity of that. One more breath, and on the exhale, bring the knees down, push back into child's pose. Nice. And just let that go. So plank can be a really vigorous pose, especially as we start adding other things and you feel fatigued. So remembering to find the pose that's going to work best for you in that moment, which could be knees down with top of the feet down, which could be even coming onto all fours if that's what feels good. Yoga is about honoring your body, so don't push through something that hurts, right? Don't push to a point where you can get injured because you're getting fatigued. So spread the fingers, curl the toes, take a deep breath and step back into plank one more time. Good. Feeling strength in your body, right? So there's pressing down and there's firming. I want your legs to feel strong and active. I really want you to engage with that neutral spine. So from here, we're going to move into our first downward dog. So take an inhale, and on the exhale, lift the buttocks up and send the heels towards the floor. Now, this is just our body's wake up, so just be gentle. Keep the knees soft. Maybe you're pedaling a little bit, so dropping one heel while one knee bends, and then the other, we call that walking your dog. So just walking it out, feeling the hamstrings start to wake up. And what's super important is that you keep the hands really engaged. Really easy to hang out in the heel of the hand, so really actively pressing down into all the fingers, into the finger mounds, and the thumb and pointer really connected into the earth. One more breath, and on the exhale, you're going to soften your knees and step towards the front of the mat, however you can do that best. Good, and then feel yourself grow with your breath all the way up. Let your arms rise out to the side, and exhaling, palms right through heart center. Beautiful. So you're just at the front of the mat. I want you to feel all 4 points of your feet engaged into the floor. So the ball of your feet, right and left. That's the right side of each foot and the left side of each foot. And also the heel, right and left side of each heel. So really balanced. Again, you're looking at length in the spine, so easy to collapse and hang out into that low back. Draw the tailbone down, firm up. So abs are engaged, but you can still belly breathe here. Inhale as the arms drop and rise all the way out to the side. Exhale as you dive out over your body into our first forward fold. Keep the knees as soft as you need to. Inhale as you lift and get some length in your spine. Pull the shoulders back. Beautiful. And then exhale, drop into a forward fold again. So that exhale is where we get a little deeper. Inhale, come back to that plank that we did earlier. And then as you exhale, we're going to lower down. So you might need to drop your knees to the floor and the top of your feet to the floor as you lower the body down. Nice. Inhale, curl the toes, press up, and then back into downward facing dog. So just as you're settling into down dog, Knowing that your heels eventually, in some way, shape, form of a time, will hit the floor, and that could be in today's practice or in 3 years from today. You want to feel them energetically reaching down as the body is ready. So you're keeping the knees as soft as you need as we go through the practice till you really feel that they're waking up. At the same time, again, distribute the weight in the hands and think about a little more length in what you're doing. So I don't want you to move your hands. I'm just going to give you, so you want to feel as if your hips are pulling up so that you can get length in from the neck all the way up to the sits bones and then the sits bones all the way down. One more breath there. And then as you get empty, so that exhale is where you're emptying, you're going to step to the front of the mat. Baby steps, a lunge step, a hop, whatever works for you. And then you rise up with your breath. We always meet at heart center at the front. So if you get there before us or after us, it doesn't matter. Just wait. We will all start together. And as you feel your body really beginning to warm up, see if you can get deeper into each move that we do in our sun salutation. And then one other point is when we're lowering down from our plank to what we call chaturanga, that you really keep the integrity of the shoulder and not let the shoulders round and dive forward. So, focused and ready, inhale, arms up. Exhale, open, dive out over your body, come all the way down. Beautiful. Inhale, lift and lengthen. So you want length in the spine, and then the exhale is where you take up that space, so you get a little deeper on the exhale. Then the next inhale is plank pose, stepping back. That exhale is where we lower down chaturanga, elbows brush the side of the body. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Roll the shoulders back, shine the heart forward as we find cobra. And exhale as you drop your chest, curl your toes, and make your way into downward facing dog. Nice. So once you hit downward facing dog, this is the pose that we start to settle into, the pose that we start to rest in, right? The sun salutation is very vigorous, and this is where we start to relax. So check in with the hands. Do me a favor and see if you can pull your shoulders down your back. So it's as if they're sliding right down, so you really feel the lats fire on, so it's giving you more support. These look so nice. Good, so you flatten that out. Nice, really nice. One more breath. Remembering that the exhale, when we get completely empty, is when we think about coming to the front of the mat. So how's that going to work best for you? We will all meet at the front of the mat. Remember, we rise with the breath. So really starting to get a feeling that the breath is dictating the movements at the end. I'll give the cue when we're getting ready to move, but it's up to you to follow the breath, right? To get empty, to move forward, and to inhale and grow with your breathing. So again, inhale, arms up. Exhale as you open and dive forward out over those legs. Inhale, lift and lengthen the spine so that as you exhale, there's more room to take up, right? So deeper in the fold. Inhaling as you make your way into plank, and exhaling as you lower the body down, keeping it in one piece. Inhaling as you find cobra, roll the shoulders back, and exhaling as we move into downward facing dog. Beautiful. So just 1 or 2 breaths, reaching long, so feeling the heels reach down towards the earth. Really nice. And the heels, remember, don't have to touch. These are not things that we absolutely have to do or else we're yoga failures. In yoga, we talk about energy. So you want to feel the energy of a pose working in a certain direction, and eventually your body will follow and respond. And again, that could take 5 minutes, it could take 5 years. So you just want to feel your energy traveling in that direction. Exhaling completely so that you can make your way to the front. Allowing yourself to rise with your breath as you're ready. Really feeling connected, united to the breath and the movement. We're going to do 2 more exactly like that. So as we go through, just see if you can get a little bit deeper. Reminding yourself also that deeper is awesome physically, but there's other ways to get deeper, and that could be in your breath, it could be in your commitment, it could be in your focus. So just allowing yourself to get deeper with the next 2 rounds. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen. And then exhale, fold. Inhale as you step strongly back into plank. Firm up the body so that you can lower down on the exhale. Keep the body in one piece. Perfect. Roll the shoulders back, cobra or upward dog, whatever is working for you. And then exhale, downward facing dog. So as you're settling into down dog, just a note on the cobra up dog decision. Cobra is where we really just start to peel the chest off the mat and shoulders roll back, shining the heart forward. Legs are really super engaged into the floor. In upward facing dog, our palms are resting on the floor, but our thighs are up, our shins are up, our knees are up, only the top of the feet are resting. So make sure there's the distinction between which one you are doing. On the exhale, you're coming forward. On the inhale, you are rising. And you're preparing for one more round, just like this. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhaling as you fold. Stepping back into plank. And lowering all the way down. Elbows brush the side body. Inhale as you shine the heart, either in cobra or upward facing dog. And then exhale, drop chest, curl toes, downward facing dog. Check your hands and make sure you're committed. Look at them, make sure they're spread wide and that the weight is distributed. Slide the shoulders down and then relax the head. Get rid of anything else that you need. Now that the body's warming up, what's in your way? What are you feeling in your body? Where can you force some of that breath? Breathe into the tight spots this morning. On the next exhale, you're going to come to the front of the mat. Grow with the breath. Feel really rooted into the mat as you rise all the way up, right? We root down to rise up in our yoga practice. Feel rooted. So we're going to do 2 more rounds of sun salutations. The only thing we're going to add is chair pose to start with, Utkatasana. So feet are still to touch at the front of the mat. Inhale the arms up. And now as you exhale, sit as if you're sitting into a chair. And just drop the tailbone down so you don't hang out in that low back. Really nice. One more breath. And now exhale, dive out over the body. So forward fold. Inhale, lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower down. Remember, you can drop knees and top of the feet on the mat if you need. Shine the heart as you breathe in. And exhale, downward facing dog. Nice. Very flexible in your elbows, so chances are you hyperextend. Now slide your shoulders down back. Yeah, and then you want to straighten these a little bit more. Perfect, right there. On the exhale, feet are coming to the front. Rising with your breath. Exhale, sit into chair. Nice. Take one breath there. And then exhale, dive out over the body. So last sun salutation. Inhale, lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhaling plank. Exhale, lower down. Keep the elbows close to the body. Good. Shine forward, open up across the chest. And then exhale, drop and curl, making your way into downward facing dog. Beautiful. Check with the fingers. Check where the heels are working. Remember, energetically is beautiful. It doesn't have to be physically. Getting as empty as you can so you can make your way to the front of the mat. Allowing yourself to grow with the breath. And on the exhale, settle into chair. And then inhale, arms drop, standing all the way up. Arms just rest down at your side. And just giving your body a second to absorb all of that tingliness. We did a lot of work, a lot of energizing our body, waking up our body. Now it's ready to pose, right? We need to warm the body, the muscles, before we can ask them to stretch. So we're going to do a series of some poses, some asana, where we do them 3 times. The third time is the one that we're going to stay settled. The first 2 will be a little bit quicker. So I want you to keep your right foot forward and your left foot back. Yeah, perfect. Good. Nice and wide. So we're going to do warrior 1 to start with. And I want you to use the space that you have on your mat, right? Don't be shy. This is your space. That's what it's here for. So if you have long legs, make sure that you're going to protect the knees and use the space you have. So what you're looking for as we come down in a lunge, which we're going to do in a second, is that your knee is not shooting far out over your toe. So as you start to glance down, that's what you're looking for. Feel really rooted in the front foot, and the back foot is on an angle, the pinky toe edge pressing into the mat. Inhale the arms up. At the same time, you feel that left hip bone rolling forward. Exhale, bend the knee, and keep the back leg straight. Nice. One more breath there. And then as you exhale, just straighten the leg and let the arms come down. Good. If it feels good to step your legs together because they're tired, go for it. You just get one breath here. And then inhale the arms up. Exhale, bend the front knee, warrior one. So you have lots of energy, right? Really strong as you feel the hips rotating forward. So even if it doesn't physically look like they're moving, energetically moving. On the next inhale, fingers lift, arms straighten, bring them all the way down. Sorry, legs straighten to bring the arms all the way down. So the next one, we're going to settle in for a few more breaths. So I want you to really feel connected to the warrior. Inhale the arms up, and exhale, bend that front knee. Nice. So as you begin to settle in here, check where that front knee is landing. So ideally, you want the front knee to be over the second and third toe, so noticing if your knee is collapsing in. You don't want to be hanging out in that low back, so see if you can drop the tailbone more. And though the arms are up and reaching with lots of energy and integrity, see if at the same time you can drop the shoulders down the back to create more space near your ears. Really, that was beautiful corrections. One more big breath where you are. And then as you take your next exhale, arms float down and you step to the front of the mat. So you're stepping off to the front of the mat. Good. So a lot of work. The legs might get a little shaky. Those are just the muscles working, so don't worry. Now you keep your left foot forward, step your right foot back. Back foot on the angle. Watching that front knee so it's not going over the toe. See if you can find more connection to the hips, because warrior one is really hips forward. And physically it might not look like that's happening, but you should feel that that's happening, right? I don't need to see it, but you're working in that direction. Inhale the arms up, and then exhale, bend that front knee, keeping the back leg straight. Feeling what warrior one feels like on this side, right? Working poses unilaterally in yoga shows us the differences. Next, inhale, lift up through the fingertips, and arms float down as the leg straightens. Again, reminding yourself you could always step to the front of the mat with the back foot if that feels good. One more breath right where you are. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend the front knee. Nice. Scanning your body. Feeling your form. So we don't have a mirror in front of us, so how do we know, right? We need to feel our body from the inside out. Fingertips lift. Exhale, arms down, straighten the front leg. We have one more time, so the last one, best one, as we settle in, as we focus and commit, as we start to just process a little more of the pose in our body. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend that front leg. And now really looking to drop the shoulder blades down the back, to tuck the tailbone, to connect where that front knee is falling, to get your eyes focused. It's okay to be serious in yoga, but it's also nice sometimes to have a little smile while you're moving. So feel free to smile while you do your yoga. Much better. Take some of the effort out of the pose when you put a little smile on your face. One more breath, and on the exhale, can you get deeper on this side? And then inhale, feel the energy start to lift you up and straighten the leg as you step to the front of the mat on the exhale. Good. And if you need to shake the legs out or do anything to make them feel good, go for it. So that was our warrior one, Virabhadrasana 1. Now we will go to warrior 2. So the main difference is where the hips face. So you're going to feel more freedom and space in your hips. So again, right foot forward, left foot back. Perfect. And so now your body's going to be facing the side. Arms spread out, shoulder height. Really nice. Take a deep breath. And on the exhale, again, bending the front knee. So legs look very similar to warrior 1. We're looking at knee falling about second and third toe. We're looking at back leg straight, on the angle on the back foot, and the pinky toe edge pressing into the mat. One more breath here. And then exhale as the arms down and the front leg straightens. Good. Allowing the arms to get a rest. Sometimes your arms get super heavy, right? It's so hard to imagine that we carry them around all day. They weigh so much and it is less. Inhale the arms up, and then exhale, bend the front knee, warrior 2. Really nice. So a lot more freedom in the hips because now they're open, right? It feels good. What you're also looking for is that head and neck becomes an extension of your spine and that you're stacked. So the tendency is oftentimes to lean forward in the pose, and so really just checking that you have that nice alignment, which Domingo has right there. One more breath, and on the exhale, arms down and the knee straightens. And the next one will settle in and breathe just a little bit deeper. So maybe rolling the shoulders back and committing to one more warrior here on this side. Inhale, arms up, and exhale, bend. And now that you're there, I need you to think about deeper. What does deeper mean for you in this pose, in this moment? It doesn't have to be physical, right? It doesn't have to be physical. So as that knee tries to collapse in, checking in with it. And again, feeling the arms, you feel the heaviness of the arms. See if you can use the triceps to actually hold your arm up. And at the same time, see if you can just relax. So relax right through here. Nice. Beautiful. You spread your body out right there. You spread your neck out. Take some tension out. One more breath. And then as you exhale, arms drop. And see if you can just shift the weight to step to the front of the mat. And shake that out. You guys are like fierce warriors today. So now we need to do the other side. Left foot forward and right foot back. Again, noticing the space that you're taking up, right? You have the space of your mat and then some to use. Make sure you're taking advantage. Arms up, there's shoulder height. Take a deep breath, and on the exhale, begin to bend the front knee. So right away, you're checking your stance. If your knee's shooting out over the toe, then you need to widen the stance. So these look perfect. More good. So that foot's on just the slight angle, it's going on the diagonal. And tailbone, head and neck, vertebra all stacked beautifully. And lots of length and energy shooting out of those fingertips. Take a deep breath, and on the exhale, the arms go down and the leg straightens. Just taking a second. If it feels good to roll the shoulders or shake the arms out or whatever works for you, allow that to happen in that little break. And then inhale the arms up. Exhale, bend the front knee. So noticing what happens to your breath in the pose, right? When we did sun salutation, I cued inhale, exhale. This is you getting in a pose and settling in. So if your mind wanders, does your breath stop? If you're in something that's a little challenging, do you forget to breathe? Yoga is about bringing the breath to those sticky parts. That when the leg starts to quiver, you breathe even deeper into that spot. On the exhale, arms down, leg straightens. Again, what do you need to do to shake it out, to get ready? Because we have one more time where we're going to stay just a little bit longer, just an extra breath or two. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, sink into warrior two. So eyes are gazing right out over those front fingertips at something in the far horizon, whatever that may be. Gazing out over those front fingertips. Breathing into the pose. Settling in. No matter what happens, calm in the face of battle. Beautiful. One more breath where you are. And then exhale as the arms down and you step to the front of the mat and shake it out. So we did warrior one and warrior two on each side, really rigorous in those poses. We'll just give the legs a little bit of a switch in that I want you to bring your feet hip distance. Establish the connection between the ball and the heel of the foot. We're just going to do a simple forward bend. It might not feel so simple when you get down there, so please make sure that you're keeping your knees as bent as you need to protect the lower back and to have the hamstrings feel okay. So inhale the arms up, just as we did in the beginning. Exhale, dive out over your body. And then we begin to settle in. So inhale, lift and lengthen one more time to get the space. And now as you exhale, get as deep as you can. So a few options. You can grab onto your big toes with your peace fingers, and your elbows are going to sort of pull out towards the side. So you're creating a sense of traction with your body, right? Your upper body can pull you down. If that doesn't feel so great, or if maybe your hands aren't reaching, your goal is to just keep your hands reaching towards the floor and letting your head be heavy. You could also, if it felt better, reach around behind your calves and pull yourself towards your calves, yeah. So whatever's working. We always want to have a micro bend in the knee, so we would never lock out from the joint. So you want to keep some softness in the knee and really do a better job at relaxing through the head and neck. We hold so much tension in our neck. See if you can just let it go. Your head is like heavy, right? Think of it as having a magnet on it almost, and the opposite end of the magnet is on the floor. So you feel that magnetic pull of your head to the earth. And with those knees micro bent, you're just getting as deep as your body allows on the exhale. So we work with the exhale. And then just see if you can shift your weight just a touch to the ball of your feet. When you do that, there's a little more stacking, a little more alignment of hip, knee, and ankle. So you just shift the weight forward a little bit. So maybe 2 more of your own breaths, however long it takes you to have 2 complete inhales and exhales. At the end of that second one, you're just going to roll yourself all the way up. Let your head be the last thing to rise. And so now we're going to move on to another standing pose. We're going to do triangle. So it starts out similar to a warrior. I want your right foot forward and your left foot back. But unlike our warrior, our legs are straight in our triangle. So it's actually the space you create in between your legs that is the actual triangle itself. If you do happen to have a block or some other type of prop nearby, you may want it in triangle. You just have it nearby. I'll show you how to use it. Not that you have to. And props are your friends. Props are ways for you to be able to get deeper in the pose without losing your form, because form is important. So again, your hips are forward, just like they were, sideways, just like they were in Warrior 2, and the arms are extending out. So we look very much like we did at the start of Warrior 2. So I want you to keep your legs straight, take a deep breath, and on the exhale, you're gonna feel as if I grabbed you by the wrist and I'm pulling you forward. When you can't go any further forward, then I want you to begin to tip and reach down towards the floor. Nice. So I'm gonna show with a couple of block options. Nice. So we just gave him a little bit of space, because what we're looking to do is keep the hips level, to keep the shoulders level. And so although this is a lot of stability in the legs, this is also an amazing twist. So you're feeling the bottom ribs reaching out, twisting under as if they could face the top. Fingers are beautiful, shoulders are stacked. These look so nice. And again, always lock out. So where do you put your head? Where do you put your eyes, your gaze, your focal point? Ideally, it would look out over those top fingers, but if it bothers your neck, then just look down at the big toe, right? Put your head in a position that you're not going to be straining yourself. And let's see if we bring your here. Nice, good. What we can do is create a little more stability here. One more breath. And now exhale completely, and then on the inhale, let your fingers lift you all the way up, just like someone's grabbed you by the wrist and pulled you up. Good, just soften the knees, shake them out a little bit. We won't hold the second one quite as long, we'll just be in for a couple breaths. Inhale, feel long. Exhale, begin to tip. Nice, settling all the way into the pose. Spreading the fingers, channels of energy. So nice. Positioning the head so you can protect the neck, so you don't have to strain so much. One more breath. Exhale deeply. And inhale, let the fingers lift you all the way up. Good, again, if you need to step to the front of the mat or shake the legs, do what feels good. We have one more time. Inhale, start to feel the fingertips. Exhale, reach as if someone's grabbed you by the wrist, and then tip all the way down. The other arm goes up. See if you can settle in. Beautiful. So there's some spiraling of the rib cage going on, right? Bottom ribs reaching up towards the ceiling. Hips are staying as if you actually have your back pressed against a pane of glass or a window. So imagine a wall behind you. So instead of letting this hip collapse, and I'll demo, instead of letting your hip collapse forward, you're trying to keep yourself nice and open. So thank you. Sorry to shift you out of your pose. Sometimes you have to see the pose wrong in order to feel it right, right? And though the legs are straight, what I want you to make a conscious effort of is a micro bend. So it means we're not collapsing out into the joints. We want to have softness in the joints to keep the flow of energy. One more breath. Exhaling completely, and then the inhale is where you begin to tip. Nice. All I want you to do is rotate the front toe and the back toe so they face the same direction. So yes, perfect. So we're going to do one more forward fold before we do the other side. And this is a wide leg forward fold. So ideally, we're going to have our hands down on the floor. If that doesn't work, if your hands don't reach, you can certainly put a block. If you're in your room, you can stack books, whatever it is that you want to do so that your head can start to feel some release, and your hands can feel some release. So nice and wide. The only other cue I'll give you with the leg is instead of toes pointing out to the side wall, if anything, you'd want them in a touch. So parallel or a tiny bit in. Good. Hands come to the hips. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, open through the chest. So breathe a big breath of air, maintaining that posture. Exhale, hinge from the hip. So you've created a little bit of a back bend, and you're just holding on to it. Perfect. And then hands reach down towards the ground, either hitting the floor or landing on a block. If your hands are hitting the floor, the elbows are coming through your legs. Perfect. And I'm just going to bring your hands in just a little bit closer here this way. Good. So the elbows are pointing right towards the back wall. Really nice. So super intense stretch again in the hamstrings, and then ultimately reaching so that the top of the head would fall right on the mat. So working the pose to your degree wherever you are. This looks perfect. And again, just noticing where the weight is shifted. Don't let it all go to the heel. Don't let it all go to the ball of the foot. See if you can find the space right in between. Perfect. One more breath there. Exhale, get as deep as you possibly can in this moment. And then inhale, bring your hands to your hips. And then slowly on the exhale, lift the body all the way up. Good. Toe heel your feet together. And then we're going to stand to the front of the mat so we can do the other side with our triangle. So if you have that block, if we used it, just move it to whichever side we need. Left foot forward, right foot back. Straight legs, hips open, arms open. Take a deep breath. On the exhale, I grabbed you now by the wrist and I'm yanking you forward. When you can't go any farther forward, start to float down. Reminding yourself that poses are different on the right and left side. So this triangle pose on this left side might feel or look different than it did on the right. Totally normal. Your body is different. Already, these look so good. You guys already are feeling the corrections. I can see you tweaking and changing in your body on your own. Inhale big. Exhale completely. And then inhale, fingers start to lift you up. And exhale, just let the arms float down. So again, do what you need to do to shake out the legs. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, tip. Nice. So I see all the adjustments happening. I see the stacking. I see the length. I see the work in the hips. Feel rooted in your floor, right? Everything starts from the foundation. That's where your feet are right now. So feel strong from the feet. One more breath. And as you exhale, totally empty. Inhale, let those fingers lift you all the way up. Again, do you need to shake the knees out? Do you need to step to the front? Do you need to move, tweak, adjust? One more time in our triangle. Inhale. Exhale, begin to tip. And breathe and allow yourself the fullest expression of the pose. So one other thing as you're going through, if we wanted to test our core strength, we could actually take our hand and just move it towards our back and nothing changes in our pose. So we know that he's not collapsed and hanging out into his hand, that he's using the strength of his legs and his core to do the pose. You can put your arm wherever you feel more comfortable. But that's our test, right? If you want to see, am I hanging out and collapsing into that arm? The pose comes from the legs and the stability and strength of the core. So there's always little ways to test it. So 2 more of your own breaths, however long that takes you. And 2 more of those breaths for you to commit or you to get deeper in some other level. And after those 2 breaths, you're making your way all the way up. And gracefully stepping to the front of the mat. Allow the legs to shake out. And then moving your block wherever you need to move it, out of the way. And we will do a standing balance. Always fun. Remember that balance comes from the mind, and the eyes need to focus on one point so that the mind can focus on one point. If you're looking all over and worried about what you look like, your pose starts to sway with you. So let's do tree pose. And as we begin to just think about tree, what I want to remind you is that your feet can stay on the floor. right? So you can have the ball of the foot and the heel pressing into the shin. You can lift the foot up so it goes right into the shin, or you can help it all the way up into the top of the leg, pressing leg into foot and foot into leg. So wherever you're going to be in your tree pose, think about the right foot being rooted. So now this is the roots of the tree. Firm from the bottom all the way up. And as you feel rooted in the ball and in the heel, you also feel all the muscles hug in towards the bone. So everything in that right leg is hugging into the midline, establishing that strong trunk. The only thing that softens is the knee. Good. Shoulders drop down the back and eyes are focused at something that's not going to move. And then slowly begin to move that left leg into your pose. Wherever you're bringing your pose today, the only thing, just be careful that you don't let your foot rest in the knee. So either above or below. And as you get your balance, think about more strength. We root down to rise up, so more strength in the leg. Take the standing leg, that right leg, and really firm it and contract it into the left, and at the same time, press the left foot back into the right. It's that opposition that helps strengthen you. If you want to make it just a little more challenging, grow the branches of your trees by reaching the arms up. Otherwise, just stay wherever your arms feel more comfortable. That movement can throw your balance off, so if you fall out, you have time. We're still here for a few more reps. You have time to come back. And so try to quiet the mind. Try to steady the breath. And try to get rid of the judgment of where your pose is right now. If you fall out, rather than getting upset, just smile and try again. Give one more breath where you are. And at the end of the next exhale, gently slide the hands into heart center if they're extended, and bring the foot all the way down to the floor. Really nice. Shake the leg out. That looks great. So unfortunately, right and left sides, even with balance, aren't always equal. So perhaps we're about to do the more challenging balance side, or maybe we're now on your good side. But either way, just accept where you are. So firm up the left leg. It's the trunk of the tree, right? All of the muscles hug in. The foot is really rooted. The only thing that softens is that knee joint. So you're very stable from the bottom all the way up. Shoulders roll down the back, spine is long. So you've set the foundation, and now begin to move that right foot into whatever degree it's being lifted onto your leg. So don't rush yourself into the pose, right? Take your time. We're here for a few breaths. Relax with it. Take time to maybe come out, go back in. Feel the opposition, foot into leg, leg into foot. Let that really firm and root you. So you have external rotation in that leg, at the same time trying to keep the hips on one line to the best of your ability. Trying not to lock out through the knee, and try not to do the pose with your toes. So the tendency is to scrunch them, right? To dig into the earth, try to relax through the toes. And if the branches want to grow, go for it. Otherwise, keep your arms wherever you're comfortable. You have a couple more breaths. So the hardest part is to still and quiet the mind. That's why the practice of meditation is so difficult, right? Our mind is always going. But see if you can keep the mind going with a connection to the breath, with a connection to the tree that you now have become, as opposed to the thoughts about what you are actually doing. Take one more breath, and on the exhale, hands come to heart center, and then the leg slides all the way down. So widen your stance. Perfect. Toes face forward. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, sit back as if you're sitting in your chair. Good. Feeling strong in this pose. Drop the tailbone down the back and just hold and breathe just for a breath or two. On your next exhale, slide your hands into your heart center. And so here's our transition pose. We're going to try to get as deep as we can in this squat until we can reach our hands to the ground and sit back on the floor. So take a deep breath, and on the exhale, start to continue to sink and to sit deeper and deeper and deeper. And then when you can eventually reach the hand out, the hand hits the floor, and you sit back in a seated position. So that's our little graceful dismount onto the floor. Perfect. So quads engaged a little bit. So let's press through the mounds of the big toes, the balls of the feet, and then makes the toes sometimes curl back a little bit. And then just check in that you're actually sitting on the sits bones, right? The two bones at the base of your butt, I want you to feel connected to that floor. If you felt like you were hinged forward or sort of rounded, you could roll your mat up, you could roll up a blanket, you could roll up a towel, whatever it is that you would like to get a little bit more length in your spine. And we're going to do a seated forward fold. It is 8 of your own breaths, however long that takes you, and then we will meet exactly as we are here. So you're going to take a nice inhale, bring the arms all the way up, and on the exhale, just like we were standing, dive out over your body, hinge, reach towards the feet. If you cannot reach your feet, you could use a strap, a towel, a blanket, a tie, a belt, anything that you have within your reach to give you a little bit of traction, a little bit of leverage. If you can reach past because you're flexible as you bend, we can create an extension of your body with some other type of prop, right? So props are there to assist us to get deeper in the poses. So think about getting longer in your spine. Nice, really nice adjustment. Longer in the spine as you go deeper, right? Deeper is great, but we don't want it to come at the cost of other things. So she really just shifted and lengthened her body out because she's super flexible as she comes down. That was really nice. So just using your exhales to allow yourself to get deeper, whatever that means, right? So if at some point your body gives out and says, this is it, this is the pose, there is no more, then try to get deeper on another level. In your connection, in your commitment, in your breath. Keep the thoughts focused on what you're doing, on the task at hand. Yoga is very much a practice of being in the present moment. So if your legs are talking to you, if you're starting to have dialogue of when are we going to be done, when am I going to be done, let all those thoughts go and just breathe and be in the moment. Remember, it's about 8 of your own breaths. And then you're going to come out of the pose. Nice. You're going to keep your legs extended. We're going to do a seated twist. So keep your right leg extended and just bend your left knee up. Foot comes to the floor. So what's super important is that we're on the sits bones and that we keep the spine long. So we're going to use some leverage in our body to make the transition happen or the twist happen. So you're going to take your, your right leg, your left leg up. So you're going to put your left arm behind you. Perfect. And it's going to land on the floor, on the mat, so you have some leverage. So it's right about in the center of your body. Perfect. And then the right arm comes all the way up. Take a deep breath, and on the exhale, bring the right arm to the outside of the left leg. Nice. So the hand can stay up, just like Domingo has it. Or if you feel more comfortable extending the arm, you leave your arm here, but extend it out, right, wherever it works. What I want you to think about is keeping the shoulders level. Because one shoulder tends to hike up more than the other. So wherever you are in the pose with arm bent or extended, whatever feels good, that's what you need to do. Just like in our tree pose where we had leg into arm, arm into leg, that's the feeling I want you to get right where the connection is. So you actually can use leverage of hand into the floor, hand into leg, to lift through the spine to twist deeper in the pose. So nice. So a really nice twist happening as the body starts to release and relax. So we don't need to force it to go deeper or bigger. It's whatever the body's willing to give us here. But we want to use the opposition of leg into arm and arm into leg to help create that. We don't want to collapse the knee over, and we don't want the leg to push the arm either. So in this way, we keep the integrity of the pose. One more breath. Inhale and get as long as you can in the spine. Exhale, get as deep as you can in the pose, whatever that means. And then on the next inhale, begin to unwind. Good. And we will switch the legs. So left leg is extended, right knee is bent, right hand goes behind you. So create a little leverage. Inhale, left arm up, and exhale the arm outside of the body. Good, and then allow all of those little tweaks and adjustments to start to happen. To try to put the shoulders on one line. Good. To try to keep the length in the spine as you work through the twist. To find the connection of leg into arm, arm into leg. To work the pose to your degree on this side. Feel your body melting open on the exhale. What can you let go of to get deeper? What's in your way physically or mentally that's preventing you from getting as deep as you can in the twist? Hard to get that big belly breath while you're twisting, so just bring a little more attention and awareness to the breath. Good. One more big inhale and exhale. And then allowing yourself to begin to unwind. Good. Come in center. Nice. Very nice. So we're going to do a few boats to strengthen through our core. So again, find the pose that fits your degree. We'll work it in stages, and then you find the one that's going to fit best in your body. Bring your feet to the floor and the knees up. You're looking for the space that resides between your sits bone and your tailbone. So there's like kind of a little spot right in between there that I want you to just feel around for. When you find the spot, you can begin to tip back. So the abs instantly fire on right here and hold you up. So think about keeping length in your spine and shoulders dropping down. So as we go through the pose, we don't want to end up rounding forward. We don't want to lose the integrity. So that's how you decide if you can move to the next degree. So right from here, arms extend up. Again, feel shoulders slide down the back. Head and neck is an extension of your spine. Don't lose this piece. Maybe come up on the tips of your toes. Nice, so you're breathing and you're breathing. Maybe staying here, or maybe lifting your legs up off the floor. Nice, as long as you have not compromised anything in your core, feel free to try extending the legs all the way up. Nice, so a whole lot of work. Wherever you are, the body's firing on. Lots of muscles are working to hold you there. The only one I don't want you to use is your jaw. So relax through your jaw and your face. Perfect. One more big breath wherever you are. And on the exhale, just wrap your arms around your knees, hug them in. So we're going to do 2 more boats. Whichever degree, right? Wherever you are. It could be different for each and every one. So begin to feel yourself sitting back into that space to feel the abs firing on. Arms extend. Shoulders drop. Spine lengthens. Begin to lift your feet off the floor or find the pose to your degree. Wherever that is, do not lose the integrity of the spine. Shoulders drop. Torso is tall. Breathing. And on the exhale, hugging knees into chest. And so last one. As the abs start to fatigue, accepting wherever you are, begin to tip back. Arms extend. Shoulders slide down the back. Shine your heart forward as you move into the pose. So nice. It's so much work to hold the shoulders up, to not round them forward, to not let go. So much work to keep the head and neck as an extension of your spine. So much work to breathe while your muscles are shaking. One more big inhale and exhale. See if you get the legs a little higher wherever they are. And then on your next exhale, hug them in. So we're going to do a version of bound angle. It's known as star pose. So you definitely let your knees open towards the edge of the mat. But instead of bringing your heels all the way in close like we do in bound angle, you actually extend them out away from your body. Yeah. So even a little bit further away. Good. A little bit further away. Perfect. And now you're going to inhale and reach around your feet. And then exhale, keeping that length, you're going to pull your body down. So if you could, your head would rest right in the crook of your feet as they meet. So the knees are working down towards the edge of the mat. As your spine stays really long, beautiful, a lot of length. And just breathe, right? Allow yourself to be in the pose wherever you are. Love how the shoulders are down and the spine is long. So find a way to work the pose in your body, regardless of how much or not much you are able to fold. Feeling the inner thighs getting some work, feeling the outer thighs in opposition. Maybe the arms are pressing into the legs, just like in that bound ankle where we can open up more if we press into the actual leg itself. One more breath. As you get empty, fill up with your next breath as you rise up. Gently close the knees up and just give those legs another squeeze. Good. Perfect. So I'm actually going to have Domingo walk and look the other direction. Yeah. Perfect. So what I want you to do is just scooch up towards the front of your mat. So this is now the front of your mat. So you're just going to be facing this way. Yeah. Yeah. You're hugging your knees in. So I want you to start to tip back. So your feet are going to start to peel off the ground. I want you to tip back, and start to tip back, and start to tip back, until the inevitable happens, which is, feels so good. Allow yourself to rock. So rock front to back. So the best thing that happened is when you did that, you all smiled. Rock front to back, so you rock yourself all the way up. Rock up to seated. When was the last time you did that? We're going to do that one more time. Come on, Del, one more time. Okay, so feet start to lift up. And it's slow, right? You just like kind of resist. You're just like starting to fall, and resisting that urge to be afraid of falling back because it's not a big deal, because it's so fun. Good, and settling in. And so allow the top of the feet to come to the mat, knees are up. We're going to do a bridge pose. If anyone practices wheel, they're welcome to do wheel. I'm going to cue bridge. Wheel is the full back bend, so if you've never done that, you might want to take your time and get really solid in the foundation of a bridge pose. So you want your feet to come in close to your glutes so that you can actually brush your heels with your fingertips. And the other thing you're looking for is that your hip and your knee and your ankle are in a line, right? So we have that nice alignment here, and toes are facing forward, or if anything, a tiny bit in. You just would never want them out. Where your toes go, your knees go. So take a nice deep breath, and as you do, begin to lift the hips up off the floor. And just take a second to work your shoulders underneath you. So you kind of work one shoulder underneath, and then the other shoulder, and if you can, interlacing the fingers and pulling long. So you actually create a space in between your shoulder blades that you're balancing on. Oh, these look beautiful. And then I want you to imagine, or not so imagine, that you have a block between your legs. Nice. So we're keeping the hip-knee alignment. Pressing down into the feet to lift up with your hips. So inhale, press down, to exhale, lift up. And they are in perfect alignment. Their head and neck is an extension of their spine still. In the bridge or in wheel pose, we want to make a conscious effort not to turn our head side to side. We want to protect the intricacies of the spinal column, so keeping your head in alignment is the key ingredient. One more breath to get as high as you can, and then on the exhale, slowly lowering down. That was my down, sorry. It's a lot more work with the brick between your legs, right? You have to actively hold it on there. So we're going to do two more. I'll cue you to start getting into it. And again, remembering that we use the inhales to press down into the feet, the exhales to lift up. This is a form of a back bend, right? A bridge or a full back bend pose, a wheel, is a back bend. We get strong in the back bend from our legs. So we want to think about more leg to get the back bend to happen. So inhale, start to press down with the feet and lift up with the hips. Rolling the shoulders underneath. And beginning to lift up. Really nice. Wherever you are, just focus on breathing, keeping the head and neck as an extension of your spine. 2 more breaths. So we're looking at keeping alignment in the legs. We're looking at really strong arms. It's a beautiful wheel pose. At the end of that second breath, you're slowly lowering the vertebra. If you're in wheel, tucking chin to chest to protect the neck. Good, and just relax for a second. Just let it settle in. And then one final bridge or wheel, whatever you're doing. Begin to inhale as you press down into the feet to feel the hips rise. Nice, shoulders roll down. These are beautiful. Breathing into the pose. pose, filling the air, and feeling the air fill your body. One more big breath, and on the exhale, gently lowering down. If you're in the back bend, chin to chest. Yeah, slowly lowering. Really nice. And then hug your knees into your chest. A little counter. So I'm going to offer you two different options for the counter pose for this. I know this is one little one, but we're going to either do child's pose or downward dog. Whichever feels better in your body, that's what I want you to pick. So make your way into either one, whatever you prefer. Good. Maybe about 3 or 4 breaths. And at the end of that 3 or 4 breaths, you're going to come out of the pose and make your way onto your back. Perfect. And we'll do one more version of a twist before we settle into Shavasana. So I would like you to bring both knees into your chest. Good. So first you give them a little squeeze because it feels good. And then I want you to gently push them away so that your knee and your hip are parallel. Good. Keep the legs squeezing together. Open the arms up as if you're making a T on the floor. So palms facing down because that's going to help you in the core move. Good. So you're going to try to keep your legs in this position. Take a deep breath. And on the exhale, lower both legs over to the right side of your body. Good. As you're ready to inhale, you're going to lift them up center. As you're ready to exhale, you're going to lower them to the opposite side. Inhale, center. Exhaling right. So follow your breath, and then when you inhale, center. Exhale, left. So it's a lot more core work than you think. Inhale, center. One more time each side. Exhale, right. And then inhale, center. And exhale, left. Inhale, center. And hold. So again, just giving that one last squeeze. And hug your knees in. So it might feel good for you to rock side to side, front to back, to do a circle. If it doesn't matter and you like to stay stationary, that's fine too. But last opportunity to massage the spine. And then the legs extend long on the mat. So we're going to settle into that final pose, Shavasana, known as the pose of rest. Feet at least hip distance or wider so the feet can flop out. Palms face up as the shoulders slide down your back and the arms aren't too far away from your body. So you sort of tuck the shoulders just to puff the chest a little bit. And so Shavasana is really the act of letting go. We have to push, pull, and try through all of our yoga practice. Now we can let go of all of it. Now we don't have to hold on to anything. So I want you to feel the ball of your feet let go, the arch, the heel, feel the ankle and the knee. Feel the front and back of the leg, right? Your hamstring, your quadricep, just feel it all let go, right? As you think about the muscle, just feel it fall into heaviness. Like the skin is heavy, the bones are heavy, the muscle's heavy. Feel it all the way spread up into the hips so that the hips just really let go. And the glutes release, right? There's a lot of clenching in those poses. So feel it all soften. No need to hold on to anything. Feel the same thing in the abs, right? Just let go. Maybe it feels like it spreads. And I want you to feel that heavy feeling spread up the front of your body, getting rid of all the tension in your rib cage, in your chest. At the same time, you're feeling that movement all the way up the spine, releasing all the little muscles in your back, all the big muscles in your back, feeling it all surrender into the floor. Your attention's at your shoulders. As you start to feel the muscles of your shoulders, front and back of your arm, passing through the elbow joint, into the forearm and wrist, and releasing through each and every finger. So now from the shoulders all the way down to your toes, you almost feel like you're pinned to the mat. The body is so heavy you couldn't even get up if you wanted. You've let go of all the ability to move your muscles. And then get rid of any tension that you might have in the throat, in the back of the neck, where we carry so much of our worries of our day. And feel the head start to release, like the scalp just gives way. Forehead smooths, not a care or worry. The eyes descend behind the cheekbones. The jaw unclenches. And the lips slightly part. And your only objective in your Shavasana is just to ride your breath. To keep all the other thoughts of what's coming next outside. And to let all the work, all the breath, all the movement, all the twisting, the turning, the holding, allow all of that to be put in its place. So you are reborn in another minute or so from your yoga practice. Please feel free to stay as long as you need to. But if you're ready, begin connecting fingers, toes, pulling all the parts of your body back together, making it whole again. Maybe it's reaching the arms way up and stretching. Maybe it's just something small and subtle, whatever feels good in your body. Then the knees pull into your chest and you make your way onto the right side. So it's just our transition, just our subtle way of getting up, kind of keeping some of that calm. And then as you're ready, in the next breath or two, you're going to come back up to seated. So again, feeling the sits bones connect and root you to the earth, the block, the mat, whatever you're sitting on. Palms facing up as the shoulders slide down the back. Take one big, giant breath. Exhaling completely. Hands come to heart center. Head gently bows. Feeling a sense of gratitude for yourself, for taking the time out to practice, for your body, for moving in all the ways you asked it to move. Thank you for sharing the practice with us. Namaste. I honor and respect the light inside of you.